It is absolutely a picture-perfect, beautiful day today. And we were actually supposed to go fishing. I was taking a lady fishing today, and she called, and the rain was forecast to be pretty much raining all morning. And so we decided to schedule that a little bit later in the month, maybe the end of the month or something. And today has been absolutely as beautiful a day to fish as you can imagine. Look at that lake out there. Look at that lake. And right now it's getting late in the evening. The deer are starting to stir around, and they're feeding in the yard, a few of them. There's been quite a few come through. There's a couple right over there. There's been about 8 or 10 come through the yard. They know the feeder's going to be going off after a while, but they're out there feeding on the Bermuda grass right now. Just a few of them's out there. There's one down there by the water. There's another one down there I didn't even see. I just see his back right now. I don't know who that might be. It's just a little buck. It looks like maybe Snoopy. I think that's Snoopy down there. And there's a couple more right here just feeding on the grass. And then TC, he just comes strolling down the edge of the water and walked out in the yard. He's walking around feeding on Bermuda grass. You know, they act like they're starving to death when they come around the house, and yet they'll sit over here and graze for an hour. I think that the feed that I feed them is just easier. It's a lot more work to go in there and take little nibbles of grass and fill your belly up, where you can take big old chunks of South Fresh deer food, pellets, and corn, and fill their belly up a lot quicker. I think it's just a lazy deal is what they like. And but it's just gorgeous out here. Will you look at that lake? Will you look at that lake? Just amazing. Just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Is that beautiful or is that beautiful? The trees over there on that mountaintop are not really turning colors yet. They're just dead. They're dead from the lack of moisture up there on the side of that hill. And that's some big trees that just simply could not get enough moisture. And because of that, they're, you know, I wonder if I get my new iPhone 13, I wonder if when I walk, like I'm walking right now and I'm shaking, you know, I see them doing things like a movie. Look who I found over there. Forrest, are you fighting that swing again? Or not? Or did you just happen to walk by it? I just happened to look over there and saw him over there. I don't know if he's been fighting that. You notice he's got all of his velvet off. He's just beautiful. Just a pretty guy. He still is beginning to show some signs of the rut, but not bad. Him and TC been kind of sparring a little bit, pushing each other around. Well, TC is pushing him around is what it amounts to. But you'll see the hocks on the back of his legs. You see the white part down there where you would call an elbow or a knee. You see how white that is? That will turn black or dark when they get full in the rut. And now it's solid white. And so they're not much into the rut at all. They're not into the rut, period. I'm going to say that's none. But they'll start changing and getting darker and darker. And when they get full in the rut, those are scent glands is what those are. And I suppose he's going to poop. You start taking a picture of a deer, and they poop every single time, don't they? But look at TC there. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, and wonderful time of the day, late in the evening, on an incredibly beautiful day, dead calm all day, cloud cover. Got up to maybe 80 degrees today, maybe 80 degrees. And the deer are just having a great time out here. There's not many out here. There'll be about 14 or 16 or 18 before it's all over. But they're just sort of coming out of the woodwork from every direction and getting out here enjoying an evening at Twin Eagle Ranch. That's all my babies. You can't help but love them. You just can't help but love them. What can I say? Go over here and take one more last look at TC before I shut this thing off. Can't wait to get my new iPhone 13. I might become a better camera person, you reckon? I don't know. I'm sure I can't do what they do on TV with it. It's pretty impressive. We have deer and turkey scattered just about everywhere around Twin Eagle Heaven this morning. There is Forrest. It's so good to see Forrest because of all of the tragedies that we've had here on the Eagle this week with our deer herd. It's so good to see beautiful Forrest and perfectly healthy. We have had deer go from perfectly healthy to dying in 24 hours. It's just been an awesomely terrible experience, and gosh, it just saddens my heart to see things happen like that. And I don't know, I just don't know. It's possible that it's blue tongue that's killed some of those deer, gone from beautiful, healthy deer to dying, and we give them shots that would normally make them well if it was something that could be treated, and yet we've still lost deer. It's just been terrible. I mean, what can I say? And it's so good to look out here and see beautifully healthy deer feeding in the yard. Turkeys everywhere. We got a little bit of rain right around daylight. Beautiful, incredibly great morning. It'd be great to be out on the water. I am gonna get to fish a little bit this week. Not much, but a little bit. And just a little problem in paradise, I guess we could say. But God knows what's best, and he knows what's best for the animals, just like he does humans. And things happen for a reason. We don't understand the reason. We simply trust God that he knows what he's doing, no matter what. But the deer are just beautiful this morning, feeding, the turkeys running around. Things are great, even in the midst of tragedy at the Eagle. Good morning, Forrest. Good morning, Forrest. How you doing, baby? How you doing, baby? You're so pretty. I sure hope you don't get sick with whatever's going around. Yeah, I sure hope you don't get sick. You're such a pretty boy. Yeah, I'm going to try to get you to go in the pen out there. And we have a lot of, there's Snoopy going to come up here and have a little breakfast with Forrest. I think I will walk out. We got other deer hanging around. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. How are you little bucks this morning? How are you little bucks this morning? Hi there. We have turkeys. We have lots of wild turkeys. Yeah, we do. Lots of things going on this morning. Look at all the turkeys out there, will you? Look at all the turkeys and the deer. It's just right after daylight. Everything is thinking about. Look at the turkeys. Look at the turkeys in full strut. Those two gobblers. We have a lot of hens around. Listen to the turkeys talking just a little bit. There's beautiful TC, big, fat, beautiful TC. I almost hate to say that with everything that's gone on here in the past several days, but we have a really beautiful bunch of animals and birds out here this morning. And they're all waiting for Jimmy to put out a little something for them to eat. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? I know that this is nothing that we haven't seen before. Perhaps nothing special, but then again, it is special to have wild turkeys that you're within 10 foot away. These are totally wild turkeys. These smaller ones are this year's hatch. That's their mama out there, right out there in the middle of the larger turkeys. There might be two mamas here. We've got a lot of turkeys running around the ranch. As I've run around the last couple of days, I've seen a lot. Ot 6 with his broken horn. He was just like 2 feet away. He's going to be a pretty nice one too as time goes by. Some of the little small bucks that have almost no horns at all this year are going to look like TC one day, perhaps. They don't all have big horns just because they have great genes. Some of them end up with smaller horns. That's just genetics. The turkeys are so close, it's just amazing. It's amazing when you treat animals with respect and you take care of them, how they actually tame down and begin to love you. And we're gonna go ahead and put some food out here for these guys. They've got a lot to eat in a while, but they're spoiled. That's a little wild deer right there, totally wild. The deer's probably about 4 months old. And she just, she's found her a place where she likes to come and spend some time. I can't touch that deer, but someday I might, you never know. Absolutely an incredible morning at the Eagle. What can I say? It's just a paradise. Even though we have problems in paradise, that's just all part of nature. I don't care how many times I see it. It's always special to me to see all the deer laying in what we have called the prayer circle, because it just seems like it's just such a, it's a circle drive, and we circle around that little plot of green right there. The grass is thin because of the deer. We probably are going to have to reseed everything this next year, which we will do. Looking out there, I think that's TC laying out there, way out there. I see some horns. Looks like he's laid down to sleep. That might be Forrest, I'm not sure. But as we see the deer laying out there in the prayer circle, everybody's laying down with the exception of one. And I don't know what the deal is on those horns. I hope he's just laying down asleep. I think he is. But it's always so special to see that right there. It's not much, but it's special. Yeah. No, that was just that's just Forrest laying down. Everybody else jumped up as soon as Beamer and I came out. We're getting ready to go for a little ride in the mule. So everybody jumped up, with the exception of a couple of them. Obviously, one of them is Forrest, because Forrest doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to Beamer. But looking at Forrest there, make sure he's all right. We just had so much go on here that I just concerned about everybody every day, it seems like. But is this special or is this special? I'm telling you. Hi, Forrest. You good, baby? Are you good, Forrest? You look just fine. Yeah, you look fine. He's breathing perfectly. He looks beautiful. Said, I'm just chilling. Green tag, she's chilling also. But I'm just chilling right here. Everybody jumps up and gets excited. But he looks good. I think he's fine this morning. I think everything's good with Forrest. I always worry about them when they don't get up and move around a little bit. As we got something going through here that's just terrible right now. I think it's blue tongue, EHD. It's terrible. It's always good to go walking and find some of Lucy's herd out in the woods. And here's a little patch of them right here. Forrest is up and walking around, so he was just being Forrest, just being calm and cool and collected like he is. TC's off out there. And they're out here feeding in the woods like deer are supposed to feed. They're not off that far from the house, about a half a mile probably. Yeah, I really don't want them to go too awful far with all the dangers around. And Forrest has just turned into a really beautiful, handsome buck. I just hope and pray that he doesn't get sick. Same way with TC. But they're just absolutely doing great. And here they are out here. You can see he's going to fight those leaves, those weeds a little bit there with his horns. He just likes to feel stuff up on the top of his head. He's, he's playing around there just a little bit. And of course, he gets a lot more to eat than the other deer because he eats in front of the house, and he's going to fight that. He's got a little bush there. Just a little bush. I didn't see the little bush. See that little bitty tiny bush right there? Yeah, that little bush is what he's fighting, which is what they do. They fight bushes, and that's exactly what Forrest is doing right there. And he doesn't have any velvet on. That's just what he does. And that's a sticker bush. It's got stickers on it, but stickers don't seem to bother deer too much. They don't mind that at all. And they're warm-blooded, so they can feel pain, but they don't seem to bother it too much. And he's fighting that little bush, rubbing that little bush at the top of his head. Now, if I was to go out there and start fooling with him right now with his horns, he might get a little bit aggressive. You never know. He wouldn't be bad, but he just might want to play a little bit with me if I was to mess with him, which I'm not, because he is a pretty good-sized deer for only a year, not even a year and a half old. He's a pretty good-sized deer, and he's got a little small rack, but it's a beautiful rack, and it's going to be a lot larger next year. Going to be getting on up there wide like TC's, and going to be just beautiful. He's going to be a lot prettier horns than TC's got. Horns are kind of crazy. They're just big and wide, and you see how big TC is. That's a beautiful shot of those deer right there. And they've got friends with them off out in the woods. Walking in the woods, I find deer, and it's just kind of neat to be able to walk up to big old deer like this out in the woods, and they don't really pay attention to you because you're their friend. It's just kind of something special. Here is a little bit of bunch of turkeys that I've run into out in the woods. And even the turkeys, now they're not like they are when they're at the feeder, but they're not too wild. They still, not paying a whole lot of attention. They are walking off, but they're feeding as they're walking off. They didn't take off running. And even as I started talking, they still didn't take off running. They just feeding off out, moving away from me. They ran just a little bit, maybe 15, 20 feet, and then decided who I was. And just basically, feeding off through the woods, really, again, enjoying the day. And these turkeys may or may not have been to the house. We have several bunches of turkeys. We had good hatches this year. We've trying to control the predators on this ranch as much as possible. And that's helped the turkey population as well. So the more you can control what hurts deer and turkey and fish, the better your wildlife population will be. And we're big into conservation. We're big into trying to make things better than they were, both in the woods and the water, with both the animals and the fish. And this is the reward that God has given us, is being able to come up on a little bunch of wild turkeys and have them, in essence, not pay a whole lot of attention to us. I love it. I love it. I love it.